All right, everyone. Hello, my name is Shelly and I'm the creator of this channel, True Sidereal Astrology. I want to welcome you here to this video, to this space and place. I want to welcome you here if it's your very first time being here. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you like what I have to say. And for those of you who have subscribed and have been with me, I want to welcome you here and remind you that without you, this channel is nothing. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the support, and let's get into my message today. So we have this thing happening in our world where Pluto, this tiny little planet, one of the outer planets, has entered into a new phase, or from the true sidereal perspective, is about to enter into the new phase, okay? Now, we have these two schools of thoughts, which I really want to dig into here. And one of them is based off the Western tropical system of astrology, which says, hey, Pluto, yay guys, like let's celebrate. Pluto has entered into Aquarius. This is going to be a revolution time. Everything that we've been predicting, utopic society, all that's coming into play because Aquarius is a new thought leader, right? Aquarius is going to change the way we see and perceive. It's going to bring in a real higher awareness for humanity, right? So the whole world, all over the internet, all over social media, all over, people are like, yay, let's celebrate. So many videos, especially with tarot and astrology, they're all over this, okay? Now, for those of you who are here on this channel, you know that I have made the conversion from Western tropical astrology to True Sidereal Astrology. And the True Sidereal Astrology, what this means is that we read energies, we read the planets based where they actually are in the sky. And that, you know, came as a big surprise for me not long ago when I found this, that Western tropical astrology doesn't read the planets where they actually are in the sky. And you may know this, I did not know this. So when I found out that, oh, that, you know, that's a problem for me. So you can watch my other videos to learn more about this process and why it was such a big yes for me to shift my perspective and convert to True Sidereal Astrology. But from where Pluto is actually in the sky, if we were to look up at the sky right now, and we will see it almost entering into Capricorn. So in February, Pluto's going to go directly into Capricorn. And that's like looking up at the sky today, right? And that's what I think astrology should be, right? No? Okay. Anyways, I'm not here to debate. Now, Pluto entering into Capricorn makes a lot more sense for what we're actually seeing in the world, okay? And again, I'm not here to convert you or convince you, but we are not in the time where new thought systems are going to be in place. And I've been saying this for years, it's our children. So our little children that we have right now are going to be the new thought leaders of the world, which makes sense, right? Because from the Pluto being in Capricorn perspective, which is what, you know, is actually happening in our skies, Pluto's going to be there for the next 20 years. So what that means is that Pluto is going to come in and is going to dismantle hierarchy. It's going to dismantle systems. It's going to dismantle things. And dismantle doesn't mean put in new thought, because you can't just come into a system and implant it with new thought. You can't. You have to first destroy what's there, and then you have to begin from the ground, from the roots, from the earth, to put in the roots, really, to plant the seeds and allow it to grow, right? So from the Pluto being in Capricorn perspective, it's dismantling and it's going to give the room to plant new. But what's going to be planted, right? In these next 20 years, that's what I really see, is there's going to be the battle of who's planting what's being built, who's in power, who, and when I say who, I'm talking on an individual level, I'm talking on a political level, I'm even talking on a racial level, on a socioeconomic level. This is going to be what we're seeing. We're going to see a lot of heads butting and people trying to maintain structure. So what I mean by that, we're not going to see this new thought, we're all one, everything's love and light, let's hold hands and sing kumbaya and we're all one. Although at the core of our reality, this is truth. Humanity and society is not there yet. We're not ready for this. So this next 20 years is going to be And again, I'm, speaking from my own perspective. I'm not here to convince you of anything. If you resonate with this, you resonate with this. If you don't need to. It's going to be the fight for that. Who's the one in control of what's being planted, right? And we're going to see some weird stuff. This is my own, right? I haven't heard this from anyone. This is my own feelings, channelings, predictions, right? Being placed, right? And again, when I say weird stuff, and I'm like, if I explain to you energetically and intuitively and psychically what's happening for me, I see a lot of religious organizations coming up. I see a lot of political things trying to be birthed. However, as they come up, I believe that they're going to dismantle. I believe Pluto's energy is going to come in and say, no, that's not going to work. And it's not going to happen. So Capricorn's coming in to really set the base for in 20 years, where it actually makes the shift into Aquarius, where we've now battled it out at the roots, and we have firm roots planted by those of us who are awake and aware. And now the new thought can come in and actually ground and be a thing, right? I've talked about this many times. Even if new thought were to come in, humanity is not at a place to ground it. The love and light spiritual phenomena or awakening, and this is what people really believe. It's all over the internet, right? We've raised consciousness and we're now ready. We've understood and we have raised consciousness. So I'm not here to say we haven't, okay? We have, but up in the ethers. And it's like we have this whole part of the world who's like, quote unquote, awakened, whatever the hell that means, right? Who's more, I suppose what that means is more aware outside of their physical self to higher laws and higher, things like that. But it's not actually grounding into our physical world reality. We have no roots. We have no systems. So we have a whole bunch of people up here who think this is it. This is what it's about. And it's not. We have to ground in that awareness into the physical realm. And that's going to take a lot of work. And from my belief and my connection, that's what this next 20 years is about. So how do we work with Capricorn energy, right? For those of us who are like, yeah, I do not resonate with Pluto being in Aquarius. And in actuality, I know if I look up in the sky right now, Pluto isn't even in Aquarius. So I'm not even sure why I was looking at it like that, okay? Again, I'm not here to argue. I know Western tropical astrology has its way to break down and justify and, be why it's a system and why it's a valid system. But so does Christianity, so does Islam, so does Judaism, so does every other structure, okay? So just because we can justify and break it down doesn't mean that we have the correct thing. And just because we are reading astrology based on where the planet actually is in the sky, also, you don't have to believe it or go with it either, right? But you get what I'm saying. I mean, you can break down and argue anything. So back to how do we work with these Capricorn energies? First of all, from what I'm speaking about, okay, I want you to tune in and feel into this. You have higher awareness, expanded consciousness. Beautiful. That's an amazing thing. Okay, so you want to celebrate the work that you've done to gain that and to attain that. Now your question is going to be, and a real question, am I translating that awareness and that perspective into my day-to-day world? And start with yourself. Am I the embodiment of what I've tapped into there? Am I embodying that behavior through my own self-work, through how I put myself out there in the world, how I behave in my family? I know I'm sure working on it every day. It's not like, oh yes, I've attained that. No, it's a work in progress. Then we go out from our family and our home into our work. Am I working in something that reflects and embodies and is in alignment with this higher perspective that I'm able to reach and that I'm able to live in, see in, whatever? Likely the answer is no for most of us, right? And then, we go even bigger into the community. Is my community reflecting these higher concepts? And it's likely no, no, and no, really, if we're really honest. Now, it's taking that Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn, destruction, right? I'm going to utilize that energy by bringing destruction into the patterns inside of myself that aren't reflecting what it is I know and I can see and I can tap into out here in the ethers, right? I'm going to look at my work and I'm going to allow Pluto and Capricorn to come in, right? And do the work to let's find a new career, let's go back to school. I've said it in another video. If you are starting at 0 point and you really have nothing, and when I say you have nothing, you have no education to hold you, you have no direction, you have no nothing. I said it in the video and I'm going to remind you again, you have time. Do not be afraid. If you have a big goal that's going to take you 7 years of education to go into, don't turn your head to it thinking you don't have time. Don't turn your head to it thinking, oh, I'm a divine being and I've already ascended, I don't need this, right? We're still here on planet Earth. You're still here on planet Earth. And what I really see happening is for those who choose to stay in love and light and float in the clouds and think we have it, you're going to be very disappointed in the coming years, and you're going to look back and say, I should have done this. I should have plugged in. I should have realized that working down here is just as important. And it's hard working down here. I've shared this before. It's hard working down here, especially when we have higher awareness, right? To come and build down here. So I'm building a company called Soul Dolls, right? Where I teach people how to make a soul doll. And putting together this business from the ground up is painful. It's not fun. It's not like, oh, this is just so great and so easy. No, it's hard. It's hard work because you got to come down to 0 point, the nothing point, and actually build something. You got to actually put out resources without getting anything back. You also got to be humble to know that you're starting from the beginning and it's not going to be easy. Okay, but it's an alignment to me. Having this channel, True Sky Astrology, I have, not that many subscribers. There's channels that have hundreds and thousands and millions of subscribers. I'm just a baby, right? It's not going to be easy, but I got to keep going. I got to keep showing up. I got to keep building, right? It's the same for you. So what I want to share with you is that Capricorn energy, in tarot, Capricorn is the devil, and the devil's not bad. It's just going to go where it's going to go. It's determined, it's fixed, it's not going to stop. It's not going to let anything get into its way. So you have like a 20-year window of opportunity. If you can take your higher consciousness, your higher knowings and awareness, and plant it down onto planet Earth in structured, practical, step-by-step ways, you're going to have success. Now, one of the big problems with our love and light community, and I saw a woman, I watched a video of hers, not all of it, I watched like 10 minutes and I had to turn it off, and she's very recognized in the love and light community. And I want to say something about this because I'm often talking against the love and light community. I love the people who are speaking. I want to connect with them. I want to feel the same messages and say, yes, 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 they're correct, because a lot of them are just lovely. And this woman that I watched the other day is an example of that. She's someone who I just think is so lovely. Her heart's in the right place. But I'm listening to her and she says this thing. And this is the thing that why I'm doing these videos, why I'm speaking. Because this thing is so not true that I don't think I can ever watch her videos again. I don't think I can. She said, if you haven't ascended now, you will not ascend. That is not true. That is not true. Now, in 25 years, if you haven't ascended in this next window gap that we're in, likely you won't ascend. But that's what's dangerous about the love and light message right now, is people are watching it thinking and knowing, oh crap, I haven't ascended. It's done. It's not done. We are going to see more people awaken, attune, uplift, connect, like all of this in the next 20 years than we've ever seen ever. But it's going to come through destruction. It's going to come through fights for power, all of those things. So when I heard that woman say that, I'm like, you are so incredibly wrong. And what you're saying right now, and I know this is a bold statement, but if demonic is a thing, that's demonic. And what I see demonic as, okay, is it's an energy, it's a frequency, it's delusion, but it's powerful and people believe it and they buy into it, right? It's not an energetic path you want to go down, because if you believe that the world has already ascended, right? And if you haven't ascended, right, you're not going to. That is dangerous. And that's going to keep you in a fog. And I really believe that's the Matrix reality. I really believe the Matrix is let all these people think that they're divine beings, that they've uplifted, that there's no more space for it, that they are it. Lock them into that and actually let's form the new earth and the new world the way we want to, right? That's honestly just what I believe, and take it or leave it, but I feel, especially in the next few years, this, what I'm saying, is not going to be some abstract thing. People are going to know this as truth. So utilize that Capricorn energy and build from 0 point. Scrap what you thought. Like seriously, when I go to my soul doll business, I never thought I'd be making dolls, teaching dolls. Like that's not something I had ever in my awareness. Do whatever it feels right. Now, here's another thing. If you're watching this video and you don't know your chart from the true sidereal perspective, go into the description below this video, click on the link under there. You'll see for finding your birth chart. It's from Athen, from Mastering the Zodiac. He offers a free birth chart calculator. And look at where the planets actually were when you were born. Have a little look. So I think what I want to share here is I did something interesting yesterday. I wrote down all my planets and my placements from the true sidereal perspective, so where they actually were when I was born. I wrote them all down in one line. And on the other side, I wrote down from a Western tropical perspective all the other planets. Now, you guys know in 2010, I had an awakening where I could physically see energy, not just spiritually, not just everything I could see. So I placed them side by side and I said, hey, Shell, like, let's use your gift in a, practical way here. And just looked at the two energetically. So I'm not using my brain. I'm not trying to dissect them or think through them. I'm just looking at the vibration of them because I can see energy. And the energy coming off of my Western tropical chart was muffled and airy and floaty and disconnected. And the energy coming off the true sidereal was like just pure. So I share that with you because for myself, that was mass confirmation of, okay, like this is absolutely correct. So if you don't know your chart yet from where the planets actually were when you were born, learn them. Because I really believe that that's a key to creating and utilizing this 20-year window of Pluto and Capricorn and building yourself authentically. Building yourself in alignment with the energies that actually were present when you were born, right? And I speak of this often because it's important to know I really believed that my birth chart since 2020, when I've really began digging into it, I actually believed that the planets were in where my chart was reading. I was ignorant. I didn't know that it was using a different system. I didn't know that, when I came out of my mother's womb, that my sun was in Taurus, not in Gemini. I didn't know that, right? And maybe you do know that, but I didn't know that. I thought that my Western tropical chart reflected where the planets actually were when I was born. So find out your true sidereal chart and see, how could I create with this? How could I build with this? How could I do things differently, perhaps, than what I'm doing right now, right? With the Western tropical, if you're still there, right? Perhaps you're not, but I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot easier to build when you know what the planets were actually in when you were born onto planet Earth, okay? So again, if you want to believe Pluto's in Aquarius and you want to ride that train and you want to go that direction, I'm not convincing you out of it. I'm just here to support those who want to go a different route, right? Who are like, okay, I don't believe Capricorn. You know what? I can't even hold myself together. I don't believe Pluto is in Aquarius. You know why I can't handle that without laughing? Because there is no way Pluto's in Aquarius. Like, you just got to look in the sky. So it's a system, right? It's not actuality. It's a system. So many people who are into astrology because they don't believe in systems. But like, from my opinion, now where I stand, Western astrology is the same as Christianity. And it was actually formed and, like, Ptolemy put it into place the same time when Christianity was really coming about, right? So it just kind of entertains me. If Western tropical astrology was based off where the planets actually were in the sky and was a little different, maybe interpretation or something, fine. But it's not even based on the planets in the sky. So it's a system. It's a religious thought form. Like, to me, it's the same thing. I don't know if it clicks like that for other people, but for me, it really does. I think about Christianity. I think about Jesus being here, and Jesus dies, and they continue to make a system that's good for the people, that's going to be good for the religion, that's going to be good for the faith, and they totally miss the point. That's what I see Western tropical astrology as. I don't think it's ill-intentioned. Well, I do actually, at the root of it. I don't think most people, like myself, right? Like, I was in it. I was reading charts for people. I read charts for money for people. Anyways, neither here nor there. So that's the video for today. If you are following a true sidereal perspective, this Capricorn in Pluto for the next 20 years is a real opportunity for you to do the root work, right? It's a real time for you to lay in the foundations and work and do the work, be in the pain. I promise you, there's nothing going to happen to our world in 7 years that your education isn't going to be useful or is going to be null and void, right? And I know a lot of the love and light community says that, right? Makes you think that there's some sort of urgency. There's no urgency. You have time. You have time. They want you to feel like you don't have time, so you are ineffective and immobile, and that's just not right. So thank you so much for being here. If you like this video, tell me in the comments what you thought of this video. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and thank you for being here. And if you're somebody who's here who is a professional astrologer in Western tropical astrology and you made it this far, thank you. I know it's not easy to listen to a perspective that's different than your own, and I hope that it was useful for you. So have a beautiful day, and till next time. Bye-bye.